Hi. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
So we've just decided there's a rumour going around that
I started the rumour.
that we've fallen out.
No, I started the rumour 5 minutes ago because I don't think that we've been seen together or been
Well,
on any.
we did the promotion.
Yeah, I mean into this group.
Yeah, but we did go into this group to promote the book.
Did we? Oh, there you go.
Yes.
So
We did.
Yeah.
But then me and Jenna did the live, so
Did the webinar.
and the webinar, yeah. So we
Yes.
haven't fallen out. We do still like each other. I like him. He doesn't like me very much. By the way, there's a guy streaming very close to us, so we're just going to see whether you can hear that over our microphones. We should be alright.
So, what's the purpose of this live? About
We're at my house, by the way. We've got no electricity in the office.
when was it? I'm going to guess at 9 months ago we paused the podcast, and we still get messages now. I don't know where people have been saying, "Hi, when's the next podcast coming out?"
Or what's happened to it.
Yeah, which is really nice. So thank you if you have messaged us. We got to a point where we felt like a lot of topics were either repeated, or we were struggling to find a topic that we felt worthwhile, or it was hard to find time where we were together, where one of us had brain.
I think it was turning into a chore as opposed to when we first started, which was really, really enjoyable. I think when you first start something that is creative like that, you throw yourself into it, and we absolutely loved probably the first 2 years of it, and then it started to just kind of just grind a little bit.
Yeah, and when we started, there was probably only 2 other industry podcasts, and by the time we finished, there was probably 6, 7, 8, which
There's a lot of copy.
which is cool, but we didn't really need to spend our time doing it.
And we did get to 236 episodes in 5 years.
Yeah, so as we said, we got a lot of questions and people saying they missed it, which was really, really kind, so thank you. What we've decided is we're going to try and come live every Tuesday and chat about our week and hopefully have a topic or a training piece or something that we talk about.
When you go to Florida, why don't we just do it on like a Zoom?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
I do that. So we're going to Florida for 3.5 weeks?
Yeah. But if it's not live, we will hopefully record something that goes out around this time, and then hopefully Jenna will put on YouTube and release things there. So that's the plan. So just as a quick update on where we are, I guess, in the last, can you remember when it was?
Yeah, it was a year ago, yeah. It's been stopped now for more than a year because we didn't quite get to our 50th anniversary, so it was stopped in April last year.
April? Was it really April this year? So yeah, when we started, it was a pretty tough market. I'm sure many of you will have experienced it. We've had sort of mini green spurts about that time, but ultimately the market's stayed pretty much the same.
You have a green spurt, you have a green shoot.
A green shoot, that's what I meant.
Or just a spurt.
Yeah, there was a Cal United manager that used to always talk about green shoots when we got beat 6-0. So I'm trying to avoid that phrase, but I will. Yeah, yeah. And whenever we had a really good May this year where we sold lots of homes, and then the first couple of weeks in June was like absolute tumbleweed, wasn't it? But then this last week's been really good. So
first 2 weeks in June last year you were talking about.
no, I'm talking about this year.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about the first 2 weeks of this
I thought
year.
we'd done really well. Oh, first 2 weeks. You just said first 2 weeks in June
Yes.
had been tumbleweed.
Yes, they were.
This year.
Yes.
Well, we're only recording this on the 23rd.
Yes. So the third week in June
Do you think we
this
should
year.
have a meeting before we go live?
No, so this is the point I wanted to get to. We were finding that we weren't actually talking about anything because we weren't seeing each other. So this is actually our meeting that's turned into like a public forum.
You're just seeing our meeting from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, this last week, specifically from Friday to today, has been really good. We've had some good offers. One big change we've made over the last 6 months is our fee has gone up. So we're now 2% plus VAT, no matter what. Plus an engagement fee of anywhere between 500 and 2,000. So
Depending on what you feel like on the day.
Depending on how much my team hate me and how many homes we're bringing on. So they're the major changes. We have, I think, about 103 homes on the market. We've probably had about 50 at the time. So
and we've got about 26 coming, I think.
yeah. So overall, I would have loved to have sold more, definitely. But we're in a good position waiting for something or someone or I thought the other day, imagine if someone, for I'm sure money laundering purposes, came up and was like, right, I'll buy your whole stock.
What's our listed fees at the moment?
1.8 million.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
It's not enough to retire on though, is it?
So if Mr. Abramovich or anyone's listening, they want to buy the whole stock and then relist them. Yeah, I'm sure there's no reason for
Quite
that.
acquisition, isn't it?
But it's of the properties, yeah. So that's where we are.
Yeah, because if you're going to sell, you're only going to get 70%, aren't you, roughly, of pipeline. You don't really get anything for the listings.
No, that's a load of nonsense, really.
It is stupid because you've got the stock.
Yeah, I think that depends on the type of agency.
Well, it depends on how much they need you.
If
It depends on the type of buyer.
Because a lot of agents that are listening, I'd imagine most of their fees are pretty much the same. So they might have a range of 2 to 4,000, let's say, and 90% of the fees. Ours can range from 9,000 to 150,000 and in between. Which what we found is the 2% are now starting to land into pipeline. They make a massive difference.
Especially on the smaller houses.
Yeah. So we sold
Well,
2
actually,
over the
it costs
weekend.
really, because even if it's a good fee, it's now a really good fee.
Yes, we saw 2 over the weekend at 450, 410 and 480, which in the past would have been 6,000. It doesn't really feel as exciting now. They're like 8,000-9,000, which
It's not as exciting when it's taking you 1,200 quid to take to market.
no, and there was still some 1.5% in there, and when they sell, it's like, oh, have we done that? But yeah, they're the main changes. So the topic of the session or podcast, whatever you want to call it today, we're going to look at what the suggested changes to the sales processes, or the buying process, I guess. And it feels apt to discuss that. And I've not actually looked into them in that much detail, so a lot of this is going to be new to me and probably new to you. Yeah,
Definitely new to me.
someone who doesn't read the news. So the first thing is something we talked about the other day is seller packs at point of listing.
So this is Labour is proposing that they bring this in.
Yeah, which we expected, didn't we, at some point?
I didn't, but I'm waiting.
No, we expected changes. I think Boris Johnson talked about them in sort of 2018. And then
They've literally been talking about my entire career though, and some of you who are even older than me have been talking about them for your career. So when home information packs came in, we were talking about this the other day as well, and all that remained really of the home information packs was EPCs. It created a whole industry out of nothing, didn't it? And then that industry got wiped out like 3-4 years later.
Because I wasn't around at this point. So companies, you paid a company to create the report.
Yeah.
That wasn't solicitors.
Yes, it was like this intermediary kind of company. It could have been a solicitor if a solicitor had offered it, but people were selling home information packs anything from £500 to £1,000.
Okay. And who would pay for that?
The seller.
Right.
Which is what they're doing in Scotland. So the seller prepares their home for sale in terms of the legal documentation for it, which is a much better idea.
Yeah, I agree. There's no need. So we sold a home on Saturday, and they want to be in 4 weeks. But the solicitors applied for searches this morning. If they're back in 4 weeks, it'll be pretty good.
But I don't understand, because searches are digital now, aren't they?
Well, yeah,
So I don't understand that. Why is it? It's so.
I totally agree, but there's no reason why the searches couldn't have been done.
Because the solicitors.
Like weeks ago.
Well, we've been into many solicitors' offices, as you all have, where they've just got a massive pile on their desk of files, like 30, 40, 50 files. And all you're trying to do is get on the top, isn't it? Because
To whoever shouts loud.
yeah. So interesting. I don't know if I've told you this, but my mum and dad sold a house back in about '85. I was away at uni actually, and they. Oh, that makes me sound really old.
You are quite old.
Anyway, they had 2 people wanting the house, and instead of taking the highest offer, they said put it to a contracts race. And I've never heard of this since.
Yeah, I think we've done 1 in the 9 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So 2 buyers.
We called it first over the line.
Yeah, that's what it was. So two buyers had to engage solicitors, had to do searches, surveys, had to pay for it all, and one of them lost out, which is a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? But yeah, I just think that having all your ducks in a row, the fly in the ointment is always going to be that a lender has to have their own survey, and that is, I think, that's the obstacle to this. because for everything else you can prepare in advance.
Yeah, but I think I know everybody blames everyone in this process. Solicitors are, I think, are the main hold-up. It is. I sort of read the average the other day. It was 20 and a half weeks from offer to completion.
So that tells me they're not charging enough for their services, or there are, for some reason, there's too few surveyors and conveyancers.
No, I just think that the system isn't digitalised.
No, I don't agree, because they could do it in a really quick time. I was saying to that buyer the other day, but you can do it in 4 weeks. You can do exchange and completion in 4 weeks.
You can do it in a day.
I don't think you can do it in a day. You can't get searches back.
Well, you can get indemnity insurance for searches.
Fair, but let's just say you don't get indemnity insurance for the searches. Let's say it's a high loan to value and you have to get a survey for some reason. Surveys come back a lot quicker. Now, surveys used to take ages.
Oh, yeah, so
back in the day, that would have been 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks to get the survey back.
Yeah, so I had a survey last week and one today, and they come back the next day.
Yeah, that is.
And then we got the mortgage offer the day after.
I've seen, and you've probably seen, surveyors actually complete the form there and then on an iPad in the house, so they can click send at the end of their survey.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's what most is.
Jenny, can I just get a glass of water, please?
But it's quite simple. It's not that difficult, is it? Most 95% the same every time. So to take 2.5 weeks.
We should have our own solicitors firm.
Well, I think solicitors are necessarily evil. They need to try and take them out. Anyway, so what he suggests is that it'll have property condition. I'm not sure what that includes. Leasehold details and
what
charges. It's not Aldershot.
Well under where the property is.
No.
No.
Can't get it. And it needs to have in here like septic tank and things like that. Anything that holds it up. I mean, we got to a point last week where we're exchanging completion. We were supposed to exchange on that day, and the solicitor brought something up. The electric meter, which supplies the septic tank, which I'm sure is like 3 pence a year, was in one of the properties, and the septic tanks benefit for 3. Like, how have you taken 4 months to work that out? Anyway,
because he only picks up the file, deals with those queries, goes away again, picks it back up again in 4 weeks' time. When he's nudged again. That's what I don't understand. But do you know what? It's not rocket science, thank you, selling a house. It is a procedural process.
Yeah.
So why does the solicitor have to do it? Why can't the lowest of lowest levels conveyances do it? Why does it have to be somebody that's so highly qualified?
I guess, there needs to be someone to blame, doesn't there?
Mm-hmm. I do know somebody who did their own conveyancing.
Yeah, we've had it once.
Have you?
Yeah.
But not a legal
The Lantern Tower. No, he did it himself.
I believe it can be done.
Yeah, it can. You do not need a solicitor. But saying that if you get a lender, then you would have to have a solicitor. It would have to be a cash purchase. Number 2, moving toward binding commitments earlier in the sale.
We've tried this before, though, haven't they?
So again, it's the Scottish model, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
so
like the deal
weeks to do
exists, though, isn't it?
And it's designed to tackle gazumping, so that we're going to try and take out gazumping. I don't know how you do that. And gazundering, last minute price drops.
So what I don't understand about the Scottish system, maybe you can enlighten me if you listen to this, is so my friend Paul Rolfe, who had Paul Rolfe Estates in Linlithgow, I was talking to him about this one day. Yeah, I think he's retired. He was telling me that you don't really value a house in Scotland because there is a value already put on it by the surveyor. But how does the surveyor know the commercial potential of that property? Like, we sold a house 2 years ago now for 10 and a bit million, right? How does a surveyor put a value on that when they're not seeing buyer intent? They don't know what the interest is in the house. They can only see. They can only see afterwards. They can only see precedent.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
So they can't go.
Opinion against
it's one person's opinion, and that can have such detrimental effect. Because he could have said 5 million for that house.
Yeah.
And so I know in Scotland you get the kind of like 125% of condition report, or 25 grand below condition.
Yeah, but
report.
you're gonna have a lot of buyers remorse, aren't you? Paying 25% over what the surveyors are. Even when we get a surveyor, they very rarely, thank God, down value things. But if they do, it's hard to convince a buyer to then go with it.
Of course it is. It really is, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Actually, they usually say below, don't they? Usually say 25 grand below home condition report.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't come in. The surveyor's value. I really hope that doesn't come in.
Shouldn't you know as it is.
I like this one.
Go on.
Financial penalties for pulling out. So buyers or sellers who withdraw late, they may face financial penalties. I don't know what they are or how much they are, and I can guarantee you one thing.
Jenny, can you just check my phone, because somebody's just tried to phone me, sorry. Just make sure it's still live.
I can guarantee you one thing, that the financial penalty will not be rewarded to an estate agent.
No, who's going to get financial penalty?
It should be split fair for cost, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a cost to us, it's a cost to the seller for solicitors.
Should it go to the person who didn't buy? Like buyer seller, buyer pays the seller, vice versa?
I think it'll be that you've got to cover
The cost of the person?
Yeah.
What if there's no cost?
Well, there's a deadline of when the costs are incurred. So I'd imagine you move to a point where like you can no longer pull out, but if you do, it's a X% of.
The whole issue with this is when a buyer puts in an offer, they don't have all the information they need to put that offer in.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So there are so many unknowns that all those unknowns can come back to bite them in the future, because they're saying subject to searches, subject to septic tank being, subject to all these things. That's the issue.
Yeah, I agree. And we have a client, and he met with Hannah a few weeks ago, who wants to create these pre going to market packs.
Yeah.
And he's got these 3 different levels, and that's all great. And I agree that it will improve fall through rate and the rest of it. However, our first job as a business is to get the instruction. And when you start putting barriers to the instruction,
and estate agents are going to find a way around it.
No. When you start putting barriers to the instruction for sellers, your instruction rate will fall, no matter how good you are at presenting these systems.
And that's the issue, I think, as well with the stamp duty. Moving the stamp duty onto the sellers, I was thinking about this, that I think sellers will automatically have a barrier in their mind to this.
Yeah, but if it's across the board, it's fine. What I mean is if, let's say we started going, to have evaluation saying, yeah, but before you go to market, you've got to have one of these reports.
Yeah.
Our instruction rate would drop.
Yeah, you say
whether
that.
or not.
Yeah, you say that, but AML didn't really cause it to drop, did it?
Because it's across the board.
Like you're saying selective.
Everybody has to do AML. If we as an agency suddenly went, yes, we'll use your product, that you have to have a home report that no one else does, our instruction rate would drop.
Yeah,
It's a hurdle to work with us. So yes, it might improve fall through rate, but ultimately as a business, it would be worse.
The thing is, you can't put your car on the market and say sold as seen.
Yeah. You can put but then if someone comes and test drives it and they don't like it, they don't have to buy it. It's the same thing.
But don't put an offer in on the phone and say.
No, but a house is sold as seen, and then they come and survey it and they don't like it, they can pull out.
And it's not sold as seen, is it? It's sold subject to. That's the problem. Whereas you don't buy a car sold as subject to. You buy it sold as seen. Caveat emptor, isn't it?
Digital first property system, so a great use of digital identity checks, that's already in place really. E-signatures, yeah, sometimes we still have to go to the solicitors to sign things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we do that not because of the signature, but because we've got to have someone explain to us how much risk we're taking.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be in person. Online conveyancing, data sharing, and digital property logbooks. Yeah, the property logbooks.
That's a smart idea. I like that idea. Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly rocket science again, is it?
No, it's not. I think that's a really good idea, digital logbook.
Yeah.
We should start that.
Yeah. this is an interesting one. I'm not really sure where I sit on it. The higher standards for estate agents in terms of licenses, I guess, and qualifications.
So, what's the point now?
Well, I agree. I read a lot of comments about how it's a really good thing for the industry, and I sort of
the industry reputation,
maybe I sort of get the idea that it is strange that you can rock up one day, open an estate agent and sell someone's house. But
I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure because we're just the marketing agent. We're not the selling agent. The selling agent is the solicitor. That's the selling conveyance. But we're just marketing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly for it, but I can't work out in my head whether that's because I can't bother to do the test, or whether that's just because I don't understand the reason for it. But I know the majority of people watching are for it, just by reading comments on different videos. And how would they do it? Would they say within 2 years?
It's like the lettings one.
All directors need to.
That's the letting. That's what the lettings one is. To be part of the property market.
Yeah, but my frustration with it, and exactly like AML, is that somebody somewhere is going to make money off it, and it won't be us.
No. Well, also, what are the questions going to be? What does a flying freehold mean? Or what's the best way to stop a property sale falling through? Because that's actually the point.
Yeah. Or how do you negotiate if someone puts an offer in? It won't be that.
No, of course it's not. And that's the issue I've got with it.
Yeah.
How do you best market a house?
It's more sort of like a conveyancing quiz, isn't it?
Really, we're supposed to be trying to maximise the value for our sellers. So that's what any training should be about.
Yeah.
Is how to get the most money out of a buyer and get it all the way through and over the line. Whereas what we're actually going to be testing us on is things like, I don't know, like I say, flying freeholds and
I do think, and I'm sure this is controversial to some people listening, I do think that some people want it just to show how much they know.
There's plenty of people like that.
Yeah, whereas I probably don't know anything, so that's why I don't want it.
We're not very good at estate agents, but we're very good at marketing properties.
Yeah.
And we're very good at negotiating. I don't care, I don't know what a wayleave is.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? But it's been spoken about so often, it's going to come in at some point. But my problem with it again is that it's being pushed a lot by the companies that want them to come in so they can charge for it.
But any new legislation is going to bring fortune hunters out of the woodwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just if that is detrimental to the industry because of the cost that's going to be borne by us, that's the issue.
I don't like you've got to buy the title plan for £7. Like, yeah, £7 isn't a lot, but when you
don't make it £7 then make it like £3.
If it's illegal, but why is it anything? It's on a system.
Yeah.
Why
would pay to access it? Because they're trying to make it self-sufficient, so it pays for itself. That's why. Isn't land registry in some weird place?
Land reg should be supported by stamp duty. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway.
And also, on that basis, why are we waiting a year to see a listing, a sold title?
Yeah.
Why are we?
Well, the logbook should be instant, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but does the logbook show sales? Is that what you're saying? I thought the logbook would just show when the last time the septic tank was empty.
Well, I'm guessing that it should have everything on, really.
Okay.
Like a car logbook would show. There should be a digital one that shows MOT and shows.
Yeah, there isn't there, is there?
No, but it can't be difficult to set up.
Although, actually, car ones do show MOT and insurance now. That's what ANPR cameras catch. I mean, it doesn't show the last time it had an exhaust fitted.
Don't know.
Or last time the
because
oil
the cars, the way we get cars, I haven't done an MOT in 10 years.
I've had to do an MOT for my camper van.
So overall, the idea of it is that it's faster, cheaper for whom, more certain and less stressful. I think we all agree that it needs some sort of reform.
It's being
the process of the transaction. 20.5 weeks is impossible to plan for, impossible to, as a business, to cash flow for. I mean, we worked out at some point last year that I think it was about August, September. That year we'd lost £400,000.
£450,000
in fall throughs,
yeah.
and I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, your post offer agreement process is terrible, and we thought the same. So we looked into it and we changed personnel and we changed everything, and ultimately it didn't really improve. We looked into every single individual case and
They're all very different.
we couldn't find a case that was obviously on us.
I think the only common denominator when you look at sales falling through is the time it takes.
Yeah.
That is definitely correlated. You get a quick sale, you've got less time to fall through, obviously. But if you get a sale that takes 6, 9, 12 months, it's more likely to fall through every month that goes on, because a buyer just doesn't want to hang on to their whole life all the time. And they're not going to not look at Rightmove. It's a bit like you offering somebody a job and then not taking them on for a year. They're not going to not look at Indeed.
Trying to think some other examples.
You're going to dating.
Oh, it actually was.
You were trying to.
Yeah, I was.
Let's get Jenna on the.
I was thinking you go to a blind
On the hot
date
seat.
and your date's late and you don't expect to look at everyone else that walks in.
Well, also it's like between your first and second date being a year, and that person expecting you just to hang on for them. It's not gonna happen, is it?
Yeah.
It's like when buyers say, "Oh, we're not in a hurry. Sorry, you can stay in your house." Oh, has it been 12 weeks? All right, we've changed our minds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Do you think that because it's such a woolly system, buyers put an offer in before they've really thought about it?
On occasions.
I had this conversation in a slightly different way I was talking to somebody many years ago, and I was thinking about setting up an agency that was, you pay and play, basically. So you, a bit like Auto Trader, you pay for time on the market.
Yeah.
And I decided that would only work if people were prepared to sell the house quickly and at the right price, because nobody's going to want to put an overpriced house on for months. They've got to pay per week to have it on the market, like you do on Auto Trader. So on Auto Trader, you go and put your property on Auto Trader, sorry, your car, and it's like 60 quid a month. And you think, oh well, actually, I'm not going to put it on at 20 grand, it's only worth 15, because I don't want to keep spending 60 grand a month. Might put it on for a couple of weeks, but I'm going to quickly reduce it.
Yeah.
Whereas there's no penalty for being on the market for a year on Rightmove.
Yeah.
It's just the incentive, it's the
It's an
motivation.
archaic system.
It is an archaic
It
system.
definitely is, and I think when you're in the industry, you just almost accept. This is the way it works.
Well, you factor it in. You factor it into your fall-through rate, your cash flow forecast. So we are accepting it, aren't we?
Yeah.
So maybe we're part of the problem. We just moan about it, same as you guys do. But what do we actually do about it? Nothing.
Apart from create podcasts like this. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if you agree with all of the points, or none of the points, or some of the points.
Because the Scottish system has its own problems as well. It's not that straightforward. It has its own issues. So that's not necessarily the answer. I think the answer is more of an auction system.
How?
I don't know. But an auction, when you put your property on the market for auction, you have to have your version of a home information pack ready. You have to allow surveys.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, and when
you have to put a big deposit down.
yeah,
on the day that
you can't change your mind.
And you exchange on the day.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the answer.
Yeah,
Don't they do that in Australia?
I have seen them. I don't know if that's in totality. I don't. When would you have the auctions? That's my problem. Especially with homes like that we sell. If no one turns up the auction, when's the next auction?
It doesn't have to sell though at auction. You have a house that's worth 4 million.
Yeah.
You
How
set
often
the
do you
auction date 3 months, out. People can put an offer in first, but if there are interested parties on the day, they have to exchange on the day.
Yeah.
The challenge
If it
we've
doesn't
got
sell,
is,
then what?
then you have to go through the big process, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, there are unsold properties in Australia when they do the auction system.
Yeah.
In fact, there are unsold properties through the new sort of online auctions, which aren't really auctions.
It'd make
are
our lives easier, wouldn't it?
they? Yeah. Well, actually, maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the issue, because it would make our lives easier and people would be prepared to pay 2%.
Maybe.
Answers on a postcard, please, to the what do you think competition. Yeah, I'd like to know.
Yeah. What have we got happening tonight, apart from England? So Sam's going to tell you what we've got tonight, and who was booked this on
Not
when
me.
England play?
I think it's Jenna. Jenna, did you choose today? Who knows?
What
So
is it?
we're doing a landlord advice evening.
Yeah, did this idea come from someone else?
Was it you that decided to do the landlord advice evening? That we just got to throw you under the bus.
When England was playing.
It
We do finish
was
at 8,
product
to be fair,
of
so-
elimination. It was the only available evening.
Okay. I'm not actually available, so it doesn't work.
Process elimination.
Yeah, was the landlord evening someone else's idea?
What in totality? Do you mean? You can turn it off in a second, Jenna.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Ash came?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, actually, no. Oh, and I still want to pick your brains. No, we didn't get the idea of doing it off him, but his immensely
Oh, it was
successful.
ridiculous, wasn't it?
It's like 160 people that you have turn up. Ash, that's just amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It really is amazing. And didn't
So
you
we
say
haven't said what it is.
that's? I think 60% he said weren't his landlords, or even
You
more.
haven't said what it is.
75%. Well, is it not self-explanatory? A landlord advice evening?
No, I don't think we haven't said that.
Can it say that?
Yeah.
Landlord advice evening. So this is to attract new landlords to our fledgling brand, which is Lettings by AJ. By the way, I've seen some boards up. We're in a safe space here, I'm sure that nobody will tell you, but it says Let by AJ, or Let by Lettings by AJ. There's about 4 of them.
Where?
Well, I've seen
Yeah,
one.
2 at Horsemead.
Yeah.
One's at a couple of road roundabout.
What's that for?
That is for a let.
An apartment.
Green map.
Is it?
Greenmount, yeah.
Oh, it's natural let. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and then one's outside my house,
Ah, okay.
which may or may not be that.
Coming soon.
It's not even his house. I should say I'm born here then.
It's just my ego when I drive past it.
Yeah, so if you'd like to give us any tips and advice about getting these landlord evenings busier and fuller, we did actually collab with 2 local businesses, and what's frustrating is they brought hardly anybody through the door. One's a big accountancy firm, like major,
Huge, yeah.
yeah, like nationwide.
No,
Yeah, it is nationwide.
no. It's northwest.
Northwest. Well, that is my nation. It's my world.
Region-wide.
And also,
HQ is in Carlisle.
pardon?
HQ is in Carlisle.
Is it okay? Fair enough. And then we've also invited a solicitor firm, just so it's good to do what we're just giving us a bashing.
Yeah, hopefully they're not watching this.
No.
Yeah, see you later.
And so one of them is sponsoring, so paying for the night and to be allowed a speaking slot and a little stand. And then the other one is just coming on and speaking, not paying us. Is that right? But they were supposed to both send it to their list, and actually hardly anybody's. 5 have come from the accountancy firm.
Yeah, which is okay.
And which is okay. Has anybody come from solicitors? 0, which is annoying. They're probably too hot in GDPR, I reckon. So it starts at 6 o'clock tonight, goes through to 7:30. We'll get quite a bit of content. We've got. We did have an instruction last time off the back of it. There's somebody who'd been
Sale instruction. Yeah.
Sale instruction, and they wrote to me a very nice email saying how impressed they were with us both, and that that's on the strength of that they moved their instruction to us.
Yeah.
And
We haven't sold it, right? But
that's right, previous agent didn't either. We didn't get any actual lets last time, did we? But hopefully, we've got people on nurture sequences and that kind of stuff. And it's just about getting our name out there.
Yeah.
Really.
just a good conversation, please.
Yeah, and it also tests our knowledge, which is tiny, about lettings. Do you want to ask them the question that you tried to find out from chat before, that backdated?
I think George Verse has answered it.
Okay.
So our understanding was that if you are increasing the rent and the tenant disagrees with your suggested rent increase and it goes to a tribunal, let's say the increase started in August and the tribunal's decision came in November and the tribunal decided that yes, you are right, you can increase it by that amount, would that amount be backdated? And our understanding was that it wouldn't be backdated, it would start at the tribunal date. But chat reckons no, you can backdate it to the August date when it should have kicked in, which it should. I think it should. You should be able to just challenge anything just for the sake of it, stop paying for certain
What, the tribunal takes a year?
But our understanding and some of our clients' understanding is that no, that's not okay. And then another question we had is that we've put a let live
Last week.
for let's say £800, and we've been inundated with with people that want to view, can we take that down and put it back up for a higher rent? We believe we can, because the rent that's advertised is ceiling, and therefore you're allowed to do that. Because obviously you can't take rent for a higher amount than what the advertised price is anymore. So
Sad days.
yeah, so those are the two things that
So let us know.
two questions we have. Yeah, interesting to hear your thoughts. And that's it this week.
So if you've got any suggestions about what you'd like us to witter on about another week, then please let us know. We'll try and make these every week. There might be more like 3 out of 4, but we will try and do a regular slot where we discuss things that are irritating us and the market and anything else really that comes up. We, as you all know, we run our mastermind, so we have lots of regular events, and quite often really good questions come out of these mastermind events.
We've got it tomorrow. Up here it's beautiful weather.
Then we're going swimming in the lake, then we're going for a little run, have a barbecue at my house, and we're going to spend 2 days hot seating, learning about how to bonus your staff. By the way, that's on the agenda. So how to create a staff bonus system, we've just done some really interesting analysis, actually, me and Edward, on, I think it's interesting anyway. So last week, we had a send your team day. So if you're a mastermind member, you get to send your team to be for training for the day, which I absolutely love to do. And which is like 5 minutes now. And at the end of the session, for the first time ever, I gave them a little anonymous survey on things like, how satisfied are you with your current salary? How is your job now reality versus expectation? There was like 10 different questions, and then I got ChatGPT to work out the correlations between all these different answers, and it was absolutely fascinating. So we're going to use that to guide the session as well.
Has ChatGPT thought into the numbers? The salary question.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to put 10, and if they are happy with it, they're probably going to put 7.
What it found a really interesting correlation, probably the headline one, was most people said, and it was completely anonymous, they put the survey's face down, it's just a little ring around a number, so it was genuinely anonymous, but most people said 8 or more for committed to their current company and stay with them, and most people said 5 or less for salary.
Did they?
Yeah. So I think that is an interesting correlation. It wasn't correlated with challenge at work, neither of those two things were. It was the strongest correlation out of all the correlations. And so therefore, that says to me that they're only going to be committed while they're not dissatisfied with the salary, and that is just going to eat away, and that gap's going to get bigger and bigger. That's what it says to me. You can't carry on being that committed with your job and being that dissatisfied with your salary. Those two things over long term. Anyway, that's just one of the things. But we also have hot seats where the members sit at the front of the class and present their biggest question and challenge to the group. And if we're being really mean, we do what's called formal hot seats, where we don't let them speak. We just have to listen. And even better, sometimes you even have to leave the room if they can't actually stop speaking. And that's it. All right, well, we'll wrap up, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Let us know if there's any particular topics you'd like us to challenge or chat about. And have a lovely day. Enjoy this weather.
And the football.
And football.